Hello and welcome to the What Northern Ireland Means to Me podcast, presented by me, Julia Paul. This series has been produced by Shared Future News to mark the centenary of Northern Ireland and is funded by the Heritage Fund on behalf of the Northern Ireland Office. Shared Future News provides information and personal stories on the topics of peacebuilding, reconciliation and diversity to a Northern Ireland audience and beyond. In this episode, Brian John Spencer, who's an artist, tells us what Northern Ireland means to him.
I'm from Stranmillis in South Belfast. Unremarkable upbringing. All my needs were met. We had a Catholic next door neighbour, and I had no sense of the sort of fractious society. Rather, it was perfectly harmonious. Growing up, very much my world was the corridor between Belfast and Bushmills, and then at the major holidays with seeing the grandparents. The main themes of my childhood were rugby and skateboarding. The rugby made me very conscious of my Irishness and also being part of these islands. The skateboarding was like in sort of artsy, surfing, rad, hip, young urban culture. My parents and my peers and my teachers advised me not to do art, even though that was my passion. Studied law for 5-6 years. And the reason why I stuck at it so long was because having gone to Inst, you'd almost institutionalized. The idea of dropping out or giving up would have been a matter of great shame. While I was able, technically I could squeeze myself into a suit and go and work in an office, it was like, it just wasn't me. When I watch other artists, whether it be presently Colin Davidson and his paintings of the leading political leaders and shapers, and then the victims also. And then if you cast your mind back 100 years ago, Sir John Lavery, who painted Michael Collins, and then he painted James Craig. And then you had Sean Keating, who, the emergent Free State, he painted all the irregulars and the IRA men and the men who came forward. And then you had Paul Henry painting the landscapes. My invisible mentors are those guys. In my mind, it's like a constellation of these different artists and their oeuvre and their body of work. Northern Ireland is 1,000 things to 1,000 different people. There was a lot of awful stuff that happened here, but Van Marston, Rory Best, Mary Peters, if it was a total wasteland, you wouldn't have had those. There is a history, a heritage to be salvaged that can bring, I believe, both sides of the community together. We're a completely different place. We've got equality written, enshrined into the law. There's equal opportunity for both sides, both communities. If you look to the Republic of Ireland, it's hard to see how you can maintain your British identity, whereas the way it is in Northern Ireland, you can be Irish as I am, and you can be British as I am, or you can be just Irish or just British. I would like just to see some positive role models come forward that can show the way forward, because that's one thing I would often say to people, that I appreciate them coming forward and carving the middle ground. And if you look to the artists like Colin Davidson and Oliver Jeffers, respectively, from either side of the community, those guys will have a critical eye, but both seem to be very proud to come from Northern Ireland. The likes of Harry Ferguson, what he did to revolutionise machinery for agriculture workers, for farmers, for labourers, for contractors, we should be proud of that. If you look at the likes of Lord Kelvin, who was one of the leading scientists, he was born in Belfast, educated in Belfast and Glasgow, and lived between the two. And for me, as someone who identifies as British and Irish, the idea that Scotland is local, when you can see it, and not only can you see it, you can hear it. It's so stark. If you go up beyond Bushmills into the hinterland of Ballymena, you can hear it. I just think that there's an onus on, yes, absolutely criticism of Northern Ireland, but a frank remembering also of really where we've come from and getting beyond these lazy tropes.
What Northern Ireland Means to Me is produced by Shared Future News. Our staff include Alan Leonard, Alan Maben and Julia Paul. Our theme song is Figure in the Fog by Jordan McMurray, with thanks to Music Paths. This and other episodes with transcripts are available at the Shared Future News website, sharedfuture.news. You can also follow us on Facebook at Shared Future News and Twitter at Shared Future. If you would like to suggest someone for a future episode of What Northern Ireland Means to Me, please email us at editor@sharedfuture.news. Thanks for listening.